Do you help students prepare for the A2 Key or the B1 Preliminary by Cambridge Assessment English? Well, stay tuned for an update. Hi, I'm Marcus from ELT Breakfast, and on this channel we help teachers of English with their professional development and classroom ideas. In this video we're going to look at some changes that Cambridge have made to the A2 and B1 English assessment exams. Now, the most noticeable changes in the A2 exam is in the reading and writing section, and I personally think these are positive changes. In the multiple choice, instead of yes, no and doesn't say, they've gone for a 3 multiple choice A, B or C option. And the other thing that I quite like is in the writing. So they've removed the word limit, and now there is a minimum number of words that candidates have to write. And the other thing I like is the last task, and this time it's really beneficial for students who are a little bit more creative and they don't like to be restricted so much. So this time they've got some pictures and they use those pictures as prompts to write a story. And speaking of pictures, also in the A2 speaking, the collaborative task, very similar to the higher level exams, where students this time will have pictures to talk about with their partner, and that will be led by the examiner. So a lot more student-friendly in my opinion. Changes too for the A2 listening part of the exam. Again, this time in line with the higher level exams. You'll notice in part 4 there is a multiple choice listening where students listen to 5 short extracts and there are multiple choice questions. And the last thing to note with the A2 is that the grades have also gone toward what they do with the higher level English exams. And this time they're opting for the A, B or C grade instead of the pass, pass with distinction, pass with merit. The B1 reading now looks a little bit more like the B2 reading and use of English section, where you'll notice in part 4 you have to complete the text with sentences that belong in the gaps. Very, very similar to the B2 first here. And for part 6, it's an open gap fill. Again, similar to the B2 first, where students have to use their own knowledge of English to provide the answer into those gaps. So there's no multiple choice. And for the B1 speaking, there's been a small change in the last part. In the past, the discussion was led by the examiner following on from the long-term task. This time the discussion is led by the examiner related to the picture prompt as part of the collaborative task. So it's a more natural follow-on. For the B1 listening, again, closer to the B2 first here. In part 2, there are short extracts that students listen to where they have to identify the opinions and attitudes of the speaker and then give one of the 3 options from a multiple choice A, B or C. And for the writing, this might be a good thing, it might not be a good thing necessarily. But in the past, the first writing task was very short. Now they've increased the word limit for writing that message. So if your students always had the habit of writing too much, well, this should be a good thing for them. And finally, similar to what Cambridge have done for the A2, they've done the same for B1 grade. So they've moved to an A, B, C system instead of the old pass with distinction, pass with merit and pass. So all these changes are obviously a lot to take in, especially if you've been preparing students for the past couple of years. Changing things just before the exam can lead to some degree of uncertainty with students. In my personal opinion, I think these changes are welcome. I like to see these changes are more closely aligned to the B2 first and C1 advanced exams. So if students are preparing for those exams after doing the A2 or B1, then there'll be less of a jump between the levels. I hope you found this update useful, especially if you are teaching A2 and B1. Cambridge do change their exams from time to time, so you do have to keep up to date with their changes. And remember, this is one of the reasons I often advise teachers and students alike to always make sure that you've got an up-to-date course book to adequately prepare for those exams. Using an old book might mean that students are preparing using the wrong strategies, or they're getting used to the wrong types of task, and then when they do the exam they might feel a little bit nervous or unnerved by some changes or some question types that they don't recognise. Before we go, I have a question for you. Are you preparing students for any of the Cambridge Assessment English exams? So it could be from A1 to C2. Do let us know in the comments. And how do you feel about these changes? Are they positive or negative? Do let us know. If you have found this video update useful, do consider subscribing to the channel. We do our best at ELT Breakfast here to make sure that students benefit from teachers who are actively committed to their professional development by exchanging ideas and keeping updated with any changes. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.